Since its launch in January of this year, members of the board and the committee behind the awards for promoting Philippines-China understanding, or APPCU, have endeavored to streamline its search for well-deserving individuals for recognition of their efforts and contributions in fostering and promoting understanding, appreciation, and the reinforcement of amity between the Philippines and China.
From a list of 26 nominees received beginning the early quarter of this year, 10 individuals from both public and private sectors have passed the three-stage selection and judging process. Prestige, nature, and extent of their work are largely the basis for the identification of their respective award category. Currently, there are 3 categories for the award. The Hall of Fame category, which acknowledges the prestige and stature of the individual and the immense effort of work the individual has done over time, as may evidence by the extent of reach, impact, and reception of their work or works by communities and societies. The Outstanding Contributions category, which recognizes individuals of lesser prominence, but has nonetheless made notable contributions in promoting and strengthening Philippines-China bilateral relations, friendship, cooperation, and understanding. The Major Contributions category, which recognizes the works of individuals whose works have a growing reach and impact on the lives of specific groups or communities of people at the grassroots level. Henceforth, the Association for Philippines-China Understanding, or APPCU, and the Embassy of the People's Republic of China in the Republic of the Philippines are delighted and proud to announce the 10 laureates of the award for promoting Philippines-China Understanding, or APPCU, for 2021. This year's very first APPCU Hall of Fame awardees are former First Lady Imelda Romualdez Marcos and former Special Envoy of the Philippines to China and the Philippine Silk Road International Chamber of Commerce Chairman, Ambassador Francis Chua. Madam Imelda Marcos. Madam Imelda Marcos, also known as the Iron Butterfly, is the wife of the late Philippines President Ferdinand Marcos. She hails from the province of Tacloban, Leyte, and came from a renowned lineage of the Romualdeses. It is not a wonder then how someone with a beautiful face and considered a beauty queen can emerge to be a powerful icon in the country's history. Far from being a traditional First Lady, Madam Imelda was a force in her own right. For nearly 2 decades of the reign of the Marcoses, Madam Imelda served in various positions of the Minister of Human Settlements, the Chairman of the Board of the Cultural Center of the Philippines, and as Envoy and Ambassador Plenipotentiary and extraordinary to important cultural missions, which most often than not leads to reinforced diplomatic relations between the Philippines and the countries visited by the good Madam, securing for the country important deals and treaties that greatly benefited the Philippine society. As it were, with her state missions, she was considered as among the few who were openly and attentively received by renowned leaders like China's Prime Minister Zhou Enlai and leader Mao Zedong, to name a few. Her passion for culture, beauty, and the arts were said to be one that greatly inspired China's Prime Minister Zhou Enlai and leader Mao Zedong, securing the Philippines' favor and support in negotiating not only for an important oil deal, but sealed the establishment of the official diplomatic ties between China and the Philippines on the 9th of June 1975. From the time of her being the First Lady of the country until today, Madam Imelda remains an epitome of power and beauty not only for her family, but also her constituents who have always looked up to her and her family. She continues to be a pillar of strength to her children and grandchildren and an inspiration to every Filipino who holds the belief that true beauty is God's love made real. The other Hall of Fame awardee of APPCU this 2021 is no other than Ambassador Francis Chua. Ambassador Chua is the Chairman and Emeritus of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or PCCI. He is also the Honorary President of the Federation of the Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Inc., or FFCCCII. He founded the International Chamber of Commerce in the Philippines in 2015 and served as its first president. In the same year, he was elected as Chairman Emeritus of the Employers Federation of the Philippines, or ECOP. In 2015, he was appointed as Vice Chairman of the Silk Road International Chamber of Commerce. In 2016, he established the Philippine Silk Road International Chamber of Commerce as founding chairman. Among his remarkable contributions include introduced Chinese trucks and buses to the Philippines since 1983. He signed a memorandum of cooperation with Chinese counterparts for launching the first international communications satellite for the Philippines in 1993. In 1997, he was instrumental in the Philippines' first international communications and broadcasting satellite, which was successfully launched by the Chinese Long March 3 rocket in Zhejiang, China. Ambassador Chua is also known for his achievements in solving anti-Chinese incidents that suppressed the rampant kidnapping cases of Chinese nationals that paved the way for him to become the commissioner of the Anti-Organized Crime Committee by then-President Arroyo. This paved way for the removal of Chinese nationals from the list of restricted aliens, but also facilitated the granting of permanent residency to 50 Chinese nationals each year in the Philippines. Furthermore, Ambassador Chua helped FFCCCII obtain the rights to host the 10th World Chinese Entrepreneurs Conference and served as chairman of the organizing committee. The conference was successfully held in November 2009 and was highly praised by more than 3,000 Chinese businessmen who participated in the conference from various parts of the world. He also collaborated with the Fujian Normal University to establish the Philippine Institute of Chinese Language and Culture and was its first dean. He also helped the University of the Philippines and Angeles University establish Confucius Institutes. Ambassador Francis Chua believed that the Belt Road Initiatives, or BRI, is the sum of China's connections with the rest of the world and is the Chinese way of promoting trade, cooperation, and bilateral relations. He is more than willing to cooperate with China to tell our Filipino brothers the good story of China, their efforts on peace, and how China is a country that cares for its people and the whole of mankind. The APPCU awardees for the Outstanding Contributions category are Philippine Association for Chinese Studies or PACS President Dr. Romel Banlawi, Global Talk News Radio and Radio Pilipinas ang maestro host Herman Camentong Laurel, kaisa para sa Kaunlaran Inc. founder Teresita Ang C., and the director of Confucius Institute of UP Diliman, Dr. Lourdes Tanhueco Nepomuceno. Dr. Romel C. Banlawi is a professorial lecturer at the Department of International Studies at Miriam College and currently an adjunct research professor at the National Institute for South China Sea Studies. He is the president of the Philippine Association for Chinese Studies or PACS and a board member of the China Southeast Asia Research Center on the South China Sea or CSARC. As part of his deep involvement in promoting Philippines-China relations, he offers lectures and talks in various fields and has authored more than 70 publications in high-impact journals, among which delved into peace education and the promotion of the Philippines-China relationship. These include the ASEAN Regional Forum, the South China Sea Disputes, and the Functionalist Option 2001, Southeast Asian Perspectives on the Rise of China, Regional Security after 9/11, 2003, Defense and Military Cooperation between Philippines and China, Broadening Bilateral Ties in the Post-9/11 Era, 2007, Southeast Asian Regionalism and China's Soft Power Strategy in a Global Age, 2010, Philippines-China Security Relations, Current Issues and Emerging Concerns 2012, Functional Cooperation and Joint Development, A Way Ahead in the South China Sea 2014, The Philippines, Security Options and Policy Implications 2017, Duterte Presidency, Shift in Philippines-China Relations 2017, Philippines-China Relations, Geopolitics, Economics, and Counterterrorism 2019, Benefits and Costs and the Philippines Paradigm Shift to China 2020, and Bilateral Consultative Mechanism in the South China Sea and Philippines-China Relations 2021. His recent publication, entitled Philippines-China Relations at 45 during the COVID-19 pandemic, New Discoveries, Recent Developments, and Continuing Concerns, exhibits a compendium of scholarly works across different disciplines commemorating Philippines-China relations at 45 amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Banlawi is well sought and always being interviewed by various media outlets, especially on issues concerning the South China Sea and Philippine-China bilateral relations. He has been promoting the two countries' continued mutual understanding, friendship, and bilateral relations for 3 decades already. Herman Camentong Laurel currently serves as the host of Global Talk News Radio for Radio Pilipinas 1-738M and of Ang Maestro, The Unfinished Revolution, broadcasted by Radio Pilipinas or RP1. He is also the host of an online podcast, Power Thinks, of the Global Talk News Radio or GTNR, streamlined in various social media platforms like Facebook and YouTube, and one of the hosts of a television show, Opinion Ngayon, aired in Golden Nations Network every Friday. Camentong is the founder and director of the Philippine BRICS Strategic Studies, a think tank inspired by China's advocacy towards a multipolar world structure. He was a former columnist of Daily Tribune for InfoWars and Die Hard 3, published every Monday and Wednesday, and had served as a columnist of Opinion for Consumers Demand, Critics Critic, and People's Struggle Weekly, and the former administrator of the Philippine Refugee Processing Center, now called the Bataan Technology Park, Inc. He served as the host of Journeys, Chronicles of Our Asian Century, that showcased developments in Asia, China, and Philippines-China bilateral relations, and offer analysis and news from Asian, Filipino, and global perspectives. Camentong is considered a major figure in Philippine journalism, reporting authoritatively to the Filipino public and the international community the factual realities between Philippines and China and the principled global vision of China to build a better world for all peoples and nations. His passion and conviction in promoting mutual understanding, friendship, and good bilateral relations between the Philippines and China are reflective of his writings and commentaries, which facilitate in clarifying for the public the truth about the South China Sea dispute that has complicated the diplomatic relations between the two countries to an inconvenient degree until today. Ka Mentong is now a senior citizen and will be celebrating his 70th year in October of this year, 2021. But age is just a number for Ka Mentong. Though almost 70 of age already, he is still going strong, writing several articles in a week and maintaining 3 TV, radio, and online broadcasts. Teresita Ang Si has played a significant role as a bridge of understanding, acceptance, and cohesion between Filipinos and Chinoys, colloquial term for Chinese Filipinos. Bringing about unity and cohesion amid diversity is an important task she has undertaken and continues to undertake.
Intramuros is very important to us because of the lessons in heritage and history. Siguro, in one line ng objective ng Bahay Chinoy, establish our rightful place in the Philippine sun. Bukas ito sa public noong 1999, inilalarawan nito ang bahagi at ang impact ng mga Chinese Filipinos in all aspects of Philippine life. I wish that the Bahay Chinoy can be recognized in the whole Intramuros and the whole Philippine society. I wish all the visitors, the audience, regardless of race, regardless of origin, regardless of your religion, can be recognized as part of this nation and as part of this nation building and the history of the Philippines. Ako po si Teresita Ang Si, founding president ng Kaisa para sa Kaunlaran at ngayon ay executive trustee ng Kaisa Heritage Foundation na nagmamanage sa Bahay Chinoy, Museum of the Chinese in Philippine Life.
As an academic, she has served as past president of the prestigious International Society for the Study of Chinese Overseas, or ISSCO, and the Philippine Association for Chinese Studies. She has given lectures in local and international fora and written extensively on the issues of Philippine-China relations, ethnic identities, culture, race relations, integration, all with the end purpose of enhancing understanding and knowledge of such issues. In the early 90s, she became the face and voice of hapless, helpless, kidnapped victims. She has come to be known as an anti-crime advocate, having championed the cause of Chinoys at the height of the kidnapping menace. This is a task she continues to fulfill as the founding chairperson of the Movement for Restoration of Peace and Order, board advisor for Judicial Reforms Initiatives, and executive chair of the People's Law Enforcement Board of Manila. Having started in 1971, this year marks half a century of her role as a social activist, educator, cultural and development worker, and an active advocate against crime and for justice reforms. Madam Teresita Ang Si has received many awards and recognition, including the Outstanding Women in the Nation's Service or TOWNS, Lifetime Volunteer Awards, among many others. In 2005, she was among the 1,000 women from all over the world nominated collectively for the Nobel Peace Award, a recognition of all the work she has done through the years. Madam Teresita Ang Si believes in the credo, Kaisa, our blood may be Chinese, but our bonds grow deep in Philippine soil, and our bonds are with the Filipino people. She emphasizes that all her life's work has the end purpose of finding for Chinoys their rightful place in the Philippine sun. A true academician and esteemed public intellectual, Dr. Lourdes Tanueco Nepomuceno is a Filipino with Chinese ancestry who takes pride in her bicultural roots. Backed by her robust academic training and relevant professional, corporate, and international experience in both private and public sectors, Dr. Nepomuceno is a visionary in her own right. In an era where China is no longer viewed as another player, but a formidable force to reckon with in globalization, Dr. Nepomuceno employs her knowledge and passion in aiding communities to bridge major socio-cultural gaps through language and communication arts. In 2009, beginning with her hometown of Angeles, Pampanga, Dr. Nepomuceno co-established the Confucius Institute at the Angeles University Foundation. Among others, the institute promotes an understanding and appreciation of Chinese culture and the teaching of the Mandarin language. In 2015, Dr. Nepomuceno was welcomed by the University of the Philippines Diliman to lead the establishment of the Confucius Institute. Over the years, Dr. Nepomuceno has built up many ties with government entities, city colleges, and universities, as well as the private sector, to the extent that the Confucius Institute at the University of the Philippines Diliman has now the broadest outreach in Mandarin lessons. In both setups, Dr. Nepomuceno holds the distinction of being the pioneer Filipino director. It is also noteworthy that her commitment to education in general and the advocacy of the appreciation of the Chinese language and culture have also benefited Philippine society. Specifically, Dr. Nepomuceno initiated and advanced the inclusion of the Mandarin language in the K-12 curriculum of the Department of Education as a special program in foreign language. The program greatly facilitates the diversification of the skill sets of Filipinos that provides them headway in employment and/or overall personal development. The APPCU awardees for the major contributions category are the founding president of Peking University Overseas Students Alumni Association, Professor Jaime Flor Cruz, physician, lawyer, and international law professor at the University of San Agustine's College of Liberal Arts in Iloilo, Dr. Mario Leonardo Emilio Aportadera, president and editor-in-chief of SovereignPH.com, Adolfo Ado Paglinawan, and 51 Talk brand ambassador, John Nicolo Fernandez. Professor Jamie A. Flor Cruz is a veteran foreign correspondent in China. He was CNN's Beijing bureau chief and correspondent responsible for strategic planning of the network's news coverage of China from 2001 to 2014. He is a visiting professor at Peking University and the founding president of Peking University Overseas Students Alumni Association from 2012 to the present. He served as the chairman of the Fortune Global Forum, a meeting of global business and political leaders held in Beijing in 2005 and Chengdu, Sichuan Province in 2013, and again in Guangzhou in 2017. Professor Flor Cruz has reported extensively on China since 1981, when he started his journalistic career as a Beijing reporter for Newsweek. In 1982, he joined Time magazine's Beijing bureau and served as its bureau chief from 1990 to 2000. In addition to his on-air reporting, Professor Flor Cruz contributed regularly to CNN.com and wrote a weekly online column, Jamie's China, offering analysis about Chinese society and politics. Professor Flor Cruz is considered the Dean of the Foreign Press Corps in Beijing, having been the longest-serving foreign correspondent in China until his retirement in 2015. He was a two-term president of the 400-member Foreign Correspondents Club of China from 1988 to 1990 and from 1996 to 1999. In November 2017, he was elected to a 4-year term as one of the vice chair of the Peking University Alumni Association, the first ever foreign alumnus elected to this position. Dr. Attorney Mario Leonardo Emilio O. Aportadera is currently a faculty member of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences of the University of San Agustin, Iloilo. As a physician, he teaches BS Biology courses such as Human Anatomy and Parasitology, and as a lawyer, he teaches pre-law courses such as International Law, Political Theories, and Introduction to Law. He served as an editor-in-chief of the Augustinian Mirror magazine and was a delegate in the Japan International Cooperation Agency's Friendship Program for the 21st Century from May to June 1986. He joined the Manila Doctors Hospital for his postgraduate internship and served as president of the MDH Postgraduate Interns Organization. Because of his deep love and devotion for learning, he also took his Bachelor of Laws degree from the University of San Agustin, Iloilo, and served as editor-in-chief of the Augustinian Law Gazette. He is both a practitioner of general medicine and general law in Iloilo. In his article published in 2016 entitled "Balance Sheets Do Not Define Friendship," he discussed how the mainstream media biasly reported on the economic and trade relations of the two countries, the Philippines and China. He also wrote articles related to the issues of the South China Sea, explaining the intricacies of the issue while urging Filipinos and Chinese to have an open mind in dealing with a complicated issue like the South China Sea dispute. Dr. and attorney Aportadera also came up with a publication entitled "Mama Had a Knack for Storytelling" in 2017, where he shared and imparted the stories of his mother on how the Chinese think, being himself born to a Chinese mother and a Filipino father. His effort as an individual in promoting and advancing Philippines-China relations at the grassroots level is evident in his sensible observation and enunciated retort against anti-China and biased media reporting. Adolfo Quizon Paglinawan, or Kaado as he is popularly known, is a Filipino journalist, public intellectual, and business professional with extensive experience in diverse fields. His active engagements in professional journalism and social media activism undeniably served as important training grounds in his writing and discursive prowess. Veering from a partisan approach to a more rationalized discourse of pressing issues confronting the Philippine society, he offers an alternative perspective that enables opportunities for peaceful diplomatic dialogues. Ado served as a press attaché and spokesman of the Philippine Embassy in Washington, D.C. from 1986 to 1993. Of his innumerable contributions and services to the Philippine society, it is his direct participation in the South China Sea debate that is most noteworthy and which likewise earned him the designation of an ambassador of goodwill. Said debate was inspired by the scandals revolving frustrated oligarchic capture of oil and gas opportunities at the Reed Bank or Recto Reef in 2011. The incompetent mishandling of Philippine foreign affairs resulting in the Scarborough standoff of 2012 and the subsequent filing of a case with the Permanent Court of Arbitration against China, backed by his training and experience in journalism and motivated by nothing but reporting as close as possible to facts. Ado stood his ground in facing off with U.S. Pinoys for good governance in a debate at Oxon Hill in Metro Washington, D.C. when he said a group of xenophobics launched its Shame China campaign in the U.S. Since then, Ado never lets off the South China Sea discussions, engaging his audiences through his articles in print and broadcast media and mobilizing together with Migrants Heritage Commission Chairman Arnedo Valera, a U.S. Pinoys for Real Change movement based in Washington, D.C., in a continuing attempt to present an alternative view amidst disinformation among Filipino Americans. Furthermore, Kaado wrote and authored two noteworthy books. The first one was entitled A Problem for Every Solution, which for the most part is a situationer on the territorial dispute in the South China Sea, and the second book was entitled No Vaccine for a Virus Called Racism, which is a survey of COVID-19 implications from an international perspective. The youngest among the 10 APPCU laureates is John Nicolo Frederick Fernandez, also known as Teacher John Lucas, and That Crazy Fun Teacher is a 51 Talk Teacher brand ambassador who has been on the platform for over 3 years. He creates videos about Chinese culture and collaborates on his video projects with his Chinese students. He is also very popular in China on his Bilibili channel, which has thousands of followers. He serves as a director for JNF Studios from 2013 to the present. His passion for teaching made him become an online sensation in China because of his cool and engaging antics while conducting lessons. He loves to incorporate and promote Chinese culture into his videos. He made videos of making Chinese food during Chinese New Year and did some cosplay of some Chinese celebrities on his social media accounts on YouTube and Facebook as that crazy fun teacher. John Fernandez has been traveling to China many times since 2019. In one of his travels, his team competed in Beijing for the SINA 5-Star Teachers Competition and clinched the 5-Star Teacher Award because of their unique and engaging teaching techniques. His warm interactions with students made him an active advocate of student-centered learning. This significant attribute of his personality is seen through his creative videos on his students' birthdays, movie dubbing shows, and tongue twisters with Chinese students.
Undoubtedly and indisputably, the role of the first batch of APPCU laureates is as remarkable and distinguished as it is impressive and inspiring. Certainly, the building and cultivation of people-to-people links and ties as a means of sustaining a healthy, strong, and mutually beneficial relationship between the two countries is indeed significant. Thus, it is important to acknowledge and recognize the vital role of various stakeholders like the APPCU awardees and those who will succeed them in contributing to the strengthening of the vitality of Philippines-China bilateral relations, friendship, understanding, and to support them in their vigorous passion and activities as they take on a greater, inspiring, and leading role in the communal task of promoting Philippines-China mutual understanding and friendship. Long live the awards for promoting Philippines-China understanding, APPCU. Long live the Philippines-China friendship. Mabuhay!